Hey everyone, it's Alex, and welcome to this Marvel Snap guide, where I'm going to take you through 8 decks, 8 unique archetypes that utilize Thanos in creative ways. In this guide, I'll be taking you through each of the decks and giving you a good explanation as to how they function. Now, one thing I will say, despite what may be bold claims on YouTube titling and whatnot, it's important to understand that Thanos is still a very new card, and we are still experimenting with what is a very different, completely new archetype in Marvel Snap. There are some decks that are more competitive than others, some of them are very experimental, and I'm actually looking forward to hearing your kind of thoughts and your kind of takes on how we can improve some of the decks within here. I do think that there are several, especially one of them, that might be legitimately competitive at a higher level. However, a lot of them are still very experimental as we move through Thanos and starting to build an understanding of how we can utilize them. With that being said, let's do a quick intro to Thanos for those that may not kind of be aware, and if you are already aware of what Thanos does, you can find at the bottom of the scroll bar there different decks, so you can skip ahead if you wish. However, if you'd like to hit that like button, I'd appreciate it, because this video took a long time to prepare. It basically was an entire week and a half of testing non-stop on Twitch TV to get to the point where I can make this video, so a lot went into this. Anyways, Thanos, a 6/8. At the start of the game, you shuffle 6 Infinity Stones into your deck. Now, the stones are actually extremely interesting. They all have unique capabilities, and for their cost, they actually give you a whole lot of value, especially when you consider that Quinjet makes them free plays. First of all the stones except one, I'll talk about in a second, they draw an additional card, which is great. In the case of the Mind Stone, you actually draw 2 cards. Now, one thing that's important to understand about Marvel Snap is that draw mechanics are pretty limited, so that's extremely valuable. And then you have the Time Stone, which might be one of the absolute best ones, where you basically get a free Psylocke. You not only draw a card, but you actually get +1 energy for the next turn. This is a very high skill cap play, please be aware of it. And then you have the Space Stone, which basically allows you to not only draw a card, but you can move 1 card at the location by which you play it. A lot of the Thanos decks will use Angela, because you can play the Space Stone on top of Angela and then move the Angela and continue to play on top of Angela, ramping it up. And then you have the Soul Stone, which has an ongoing ability that gives enemy cards -1 power. That's pretty significant and a pretty good trade. It's kind of like a Spooderwoman. And then you have the Reality Stone, which has the Scarlet Witch effect of transforming a location into a new one. Pretty fantastic. And finally, the only stone that doesn't actually draw another stone gives 10 power to Thanos, provided you've played all 6 stones, including this one. It has to be on the board. This is the only one that can't be destroyed, because if this one's destroyed, Thanos doesn't get the additional power. So just please bear that in mind. With that being said, let's talk about the decks. The first deck we're going to talk about is Thanos Destroy. Now, I think this is one of the archetypes that has a very straightforward playstyle, especially if you're new to Thanos and you want to start experimenting. Basically, the way it works is you have Quinjet, as I described prior. This is going to be valuable in almost every single deck, because it creates a situation where the stones are going to cost 0 because they didn't start in your deck. They were added at the start of the game. So Quinjet is a super valuable card for these decks. You have the Hood, you have Carnage, Killmonger. Killmonger is great because what it does is it actually kills the stones and clears them. Just be very aware that the one stone you don't want to kill, of course, is the Power Stone. This is the one you cannot destroy with Killmonger or any other cards. The other ones, after you play them, they can be destroyed via Killmonger, Deathlock, whatever you wish to do. The other thing to keep in mind here is that Magic, this deck revolves around kind of getting Thanos to that additional 10. Magic allows you to cycle 1 additional turn 6 and 7, in order to allow you to kind of cycle through your stones and get Thanos to that plus 10. Keep in mind, this also has a Deathwave kind of splash in here. You have the wave that you can play with Death, of course, wave and Death. Deaths gets reset to 4 and a negative for each individual card that's been destroyed. If you destroy a lot of stones with Killmonger, Carnage, and etc., well, you're going to get a lot of value. So that's how this deck in particular works. Alright, now we've got the Thanos Zoo list. Now this one here gets an exclamation mark, because I believe that this is one of the absolute best ones to play. The reason for this is because in my testing, I had by far the highest win rate on this particular list, while also having the most consistent playstyle that allowed me to actually enjoy the game and not focus too much on very specific combos. This is one of those lists that will surprise you at how effective it is. Let me explain why. The first thing you need to know about Thanos here is that the 6/8 is actually kind of inconsequential here. What you really want are these stones. You want to play these stones because they are the 1-drops that provide some additional value. The key thing to understand here is that what you're doing here is you are buffing them up with the classic Khazar, Blue Marvel, Onslaught lane. You want to have one lane kind of constrained to Khazar Blue Marvel Onslaught, so please bear that in mind based on how you play. You also have the standard Zoo cards in Ant-Man, Quinjet, Mojo, Angela, and then you want to protect your cards with armor. And then this is key here, Hulkbuster, because what you're going to do is you're going to find yourself very limited on board space, and Hulkbuster is a play that allows you to put additional kind of power into a lane without taking up an additional slot. Very valuable when you have so many stones. Now, this list, while it looks like it may not be that powerful, what you're going to do is you're going to get a huge Angela. Like, I was getting Angela well over 10, because what you do is you play Angela, you ramp her up, and then on the fourth one, you drop Space Stone on top of the Angela, and then you move the Angela out. And then what you do is you play more cards on top of the Angela. So it's absolutely insane how much value you can get from Angela here. This list is extremely straightforward to pilot, and one that I had a ton of success with. And it's crazy because a lot of people expect Thanos to come out, but if you get the Thanos plus 10 and play him on turn 6, I mean, that's just bonus. Realistically, you just want these amazingly high value stones out there. That's all you want. They're like really impactful stones that give you a lot of different tools, not to mention the power stones of 1/3, which is already really good from a 1-drop perspective. They also cycle themselves with the draws. So like, I mean, it's just a really good zoo list that I think is really effective in the current meta. Alright, the next list we're going to talk about is the Thanos Lockjaw list. Now, the only reason why I include it in this video is because it is a frequently requested and talked about list using Lockjaw in conjunction with the stones. I gotta be totally honest with you, I think this list sucks. I think that Lockjaw is completely chaotic for this list. I think that playing Thanos with the Lockjaw is very difficult because when you pull the stones, they feel terrible. Yes, cycling the stones feels good, but you're almost going to hit a stone as well, and it feels awful. This list has always felt terrible every single time I've played it, but I know if I didn't include it, people would have asked about it. Also, a lot of people consider playing Beast over Falcon. The problem with that is you get some overlap with Quinjet and Beast because Beast allows you to pick up and obviously reduce the cost of the stones, but Quinjet already does that. But when you dilute the deck, you don't necessarily have a very consistent way of ensuring that you draw any one particular card. This deck particularly does want you to get Thanos to the plus 10, which is why it runs magic, but overall, it feels like it's doing a couple different things and nothing quite right. I really don't like the Lockjaw list. This is one that we kind of settled on and being one of the best ones, so to speak, especially with the Coccia pulling things out from the Lockjaw, but I really don't recommend this if you're looking to gain rank. Alright folks, put this one in the very experimental category as I developed a Thanos move list which ironically worked way better than I expected. Basically the way it works is this one here is designed to get Thanos to the plus 10 running through all the stones, and basically what we did here is we actually played the stones and we actually utilized the Quinjet, Angela, and Kraven to get some movement based effects happening. Basically you had Kraven, Polaris, which syncs extremely well with Kraven, which while being a very high impactful 3/5 play. You got the Spooderman, which gets a lot of value when things are moving around everywhere. You got the Cloak, which allows you to rearrange the stones to create more space on the board. You also have Arrow, which can be very disruptive, which is fantastic. Ant-Man, Iceman, great zoo cards, but most importantly in this list, Space Stone allows you to synergize more with the Kraven and others, so you actually have way more like movement mechanics than you would expect. Kraven being one of your low-key win conditions that people aren't going to expect. It's a pretty neat board. I even experimented with taking out Nightcrawler and putting in Carnage just to have a card that just like cleaned like your board a little bit, and it actually worked surprisingly well. So if you want, you can get Nightcrawler out, put Carnage in, and it allows you to kind of generate additional board space for yourself, which can be valuable to generate more movement for Kraven, Polaris, and etc. It was a very interesting list. I don't think it's like competitive, but if you're looking to try something interesting where your opponent has no idea what the hell you're doing, I think this is the one. Alright, so the last couple lists I showed you were very experimental. This one here is a little more straightforward to play that utilizes Thanos as a secondary win condition while having a standardized play pattern with straight up Deathwave. Basically what you're doing here is you are playing Quinjet to cycle the Thanos stones. You want to get Thanos to that 16 if you can, 18 sorry. We don't have magic in this list, but instead what we're doing is if we get some bad RNG, we don't get through the stones, which is honestly pretty likely. We do have plays with Wave where we can get the Thanos out early, Taskmaster the Thanos, get an 8 play, which is decent enough. You can also wave the Magneto, Taskmaster Magneto, and as you destroy cards, you can also wave on turn 5, play a Magneto, and in conjunction with the Death as well. So like, there's multiple win conditions as you move into turn 6. This feels like a very unnecessary way to play Thanos, obviously. And this is like one of those problems that Thanos is encountering, where like it's an interesting mechanic, but the stones themselves don't quite carry. So when you dilute your deck with the stones, you end up in a situation where you try a deck like this, it can feel somewhat unwieldy at a time. I did find success with this deck. I did find it very interesting. Specifically, the Taskmaster did give me significant value, as it does in a lot of these types of lists. But it's worth noting that without magic, which I felt like there was not quite enough room for, you don't usually ever get a 618 Thanos, unfortunately. So you're really using these stones as additional value and as a value generation thing for Carnage, Killmonger, and Deathlock in conjunction with the Death. It's a unique list, but one that is pretty good at all stages of the meta. Alright, so I've got another really interesting list for you, and this is the Thanos Wongoing list. Basically, the way this works is you have Thanos, but you're really utilizing a couple of the core cards. Namely, you're using the Time Stone in order to ramp up to get Wong out early. You're using the Soul Stone to trade effectively with the opposing people in the lane. You can use the Reality Stone if necessary, if you have to kind of fix a location, but the Power Stone ongoing a 1/3. The reason why we're doing this here is that we actually want those stones, we want to cycle, we want to use them as like kind of like a flexible opportunity to fix the board as we see, but we're using a zoo list with Wongoing. And basically what we're doing here is we run Invisible Woman, we play Wong, usually in conjunction with the green stone. What's the green stone again? Why am I forgetting? The Time Stone, of course, is the Time Stone. You get Invisible Woman out, you Time Stone Wong into Invisible Woman, you copy the Mystique, and then you play the Spectrum on top of that lane, which is going to basically buff all the ongoing cards by a very significant margin, including, that's right, the Soul Stone and the Power Stone, which are going to get impacted by the Spectrum. You also have Ant-Man, Quinjet, Mojo. These are all great ongoing cards. You have a massive ongoing list. Khazar buffs the stones as well. It's just one of those lists that like is pretty damn interesting. Opponents won't really know what's happening, but you'd be surprised how much additional value those stones can give you, especially as you draw through them and you're able to get some additional value and get some added flexibility. The only disadvantage to this list is that with the dilution of the deck, if you don't get a stone early, it's going to be hard to ensure that you have Wong on 4, because what happens is that you're kind of going through stones and you're drawing stones, and you may not necessarily draw Wong or Mystique. So it's kind of important to bear that in mind, that the consistency of Thanos decks can be a bit of a factor, but I did think this was a pretty interesting list. Much like the Lockjaw list, if I didn't include a bounce list, people would have complained. And here's a bounce list that I was utilizing that I thought was okay, in the idea of like trying to like ramp up the Bishop with the Beast and the Falcon, running a Okoye with Quinjet. Like, I get it, okay? Especially when you have Angela Bishop as like kind of like value runs. But this list never felt good to play. This is one of those lists, anytime you see Magic, you're basically saying, I want Thanos to be a 618. That's what when you see Magic, you want to get all the stones through, you want to cycle them, you want the Power Stone out there, you want Big Papa Thanos to be a 618. It is so rare to get this down properly, because like it's just, yes, you're bouncing like crazy, but like it's a 6-turn game, a 7-turn game with Magic, and it's like you just don't have enough time. Like if you don't start with the Mind Stone in your hand, like if you don't pull this early, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work, right? So like it's one of those situations where if you get the Mind Stone, or if you get like an early stone and then you bounce it with Beast or Falcon, like suddenly you find yourself ramping. But you have to commit a turn number 2 to Angela, you have to commit the turn 3 to Bishop. So that means what, you're doing this on turn 4 where you're starting to like get value on the board. It feels very like there's just not enough time to do everything you're trying to do in a Thanos deck in a bounce list. So I include this because I know a lot of people are interested in trying it, but like it is one of those lists that I personally found very unsuccessful, but I mean, your mileage may vary. All right, I am so excited to show you this list. This is one of the lists that's going to be included in the highlights I'm showing you later. It is absolutely insane. This is by far one of my favorite lists I've ever created with Thanos. And the idea is to not even play Thanos at all, but it's all about the stones. The problem is you also can't play the Power Stone either, which feels a little bad. But anyways, you are playing a Cerebro 1 list. How many gamers out there are playing Cerebro 1? Nobody's playing Cerebro 1, but we're playing Cerebro 1, because what we're doing here is we got cards that allow us with Cerebro to get +2 power across all the stones, which by the way generate a lot of value for us. And then you copy that with Mystique, it's +4 power. You got these stones are like insanely powerful. It's beautiful, right? It's beautiful what these stones can do. And then you got amazing cards. You got a free Wasp play. You have Electra, which allows you to trade effectively. Squirrel Girl, that throws squirrels everywhere that benefit from being, hit by the Cerebro Mystique. You have Black Widow, which stuffs their hand. Beautiful. You got Nick Cage, right? A national treasure, doing what they can to prevent the cards from having their power reduced, which always screws up Cerebro. So I mean, like, Nick Cage is such a good card for Cerebro. It is just mind-blowing how good this card is. So this list works. Psylocke for the mana ramp. Green Goblin to go on their side, not impacted by Cerebro. Hobgoblin, not impacted by Cerebro. You got the Iron Man, and then you got Papa Thanos with all the stones. This list is by far the one I had the most fun with. I'm not gonna say it's like get to infinite competitive, but I was so shocked at how many games I was able to win, because it is like the opponent has no clue. They have no idea. When you turn 6 Cerebro Mystique, they're like, I cannot believe I just donated 8 cubes. This is the most fun I've ever had playing Marvel Snap. This list right here. So if you want to try anything for funsies, you got to try this one. And you've got to check out these gameplay clips because they're absolutely wild. I had a lot of fun testing Thanos on Twitch TV. And I invite you to join us on Twitch TV, where we have a ton of fun. We do a bunch of theory crafting. And most importantly, we absolutely crush noobs in Marvel Snap. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy these clips. That's bad. The one thing about this deck that's obviously really difficult is the rate by which you pull Cerebro is extremely challenging because of the amount of like stones you have. So unless you're drawing through these stones like crazy, you're not pulling Cerebro. Okay, we got Cerebro. We got Cerebro Mystique. We have Cerebro Mystique. I think we snap on this fool now. We got Cerebro Mystique. Oh, we got the Reality Stone too. This is so perfect. This guy's like, what the hell's happening right now? Why is this noob snapping on me? I just throw this Electra. I trade into him. I run Nick Cage here. Oh, this game's so easy now. We drop Nick Cage. Subterranea. I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. Nicolas Cage is going to make sure that they can't impact our board at all. I think we skip this turn. We don't even need to play. We actually just skip this turn. Because this guy is not going to expect Cerebro on turn 6. Cerebro Mystique. We Iron Man, which gives this little squirrel an opportunity to shine and possibly even win New York. He throws a rock, buddy. You ain't phasing me at all. Quicksilver, bud. Are you been holding that since turn 1? Are you drunk? My friend, are you under the influence? I think we just play Iron Man here. We just play Iron Man and then we Cerebro Mystique. This guy multiplies with the Iron Man. It's gonna be funny. Buddy, I have Nicolas Cage. You get that Spider-Woman out of there. Spooderwoman does nothing to Nicolas Cage. He's a national treasurer. Literally a national treasure. You cannot hold Nick Cage down. Are you kidding me? Buddy, you're gonna get clapped. He snaps. He snaps. You know what, guys? I don't think he's ready for this. I really don't think he is prepared emotionally for what's gonna happen to him. So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start the music. We're gonna throw the confetti, we're gonna end the turn, and we're gonna absolutely clap this noob! Get wrecked! We do have the Vibranium Mines. They're pretty interesting here. I think I'm willing to play the Quinjet into the Vibranium Mines and then just start cycling like crazy. We have the Blue Marvel. We have the deck for this. I think I'm going to snap here. I think we have the right location, especially with Quinjet and the draw we're going to have. Like, Vibranium Mines is going to be perfect here. Quinjet comes out, gives us some mines, or ores, one should say. Dream Dimension comes out, big sad. Okay, we got the Vibranium. We are going to Mind Stone, Space Stone, and we're going to hold the Vibranium for a second. We don't need to play that yet. Now, it's unlikely that this guy has a Killmonger if he's playing a Sunspot. especially an unprotected Sunspot, so I don't think we have to worry about it too much. He's likely to actually armor, I was going to say, he's likely to armor that lane. So if anything, we're going to move the Quinjet into that lane now. We're going to move Quinjet with the Space Stone. We are going to armor here as well. And we're also going to follow up with, I believe, the Power Stone to give us enough value there. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're 2 stones away from actually playing it. These are all 1 cost. Quinjet's protected. I think we're good. So we're going to get a lot more Vibranium here. I think this guy's going to get clapped. If we pull Khazar Onslaught, this is an easy win. Now, we have the Thanos in the list, but I mean, we're unlikely to draw any cards other than Vibranium at this point. But still, I think that we actually wait a second and pretend like we have nothing. We actually skipped this turn. Sunspot would have been great here, but we play Blue Marvel, and we can just literally miracle turn 6 like crazy. Vibranium Mines isn't really fair because it's oh my god, I can't play the stupid Blue Marvel. I just realized this now. I think we still wait. I think we're going to skip 2 turns. We are going to skip 2 turns back to back because I don't want to reveal my hand. We still get to play Blue Marvel. It sucks that I should have accounted for the Dream Dimension. Honestly, that was Sunspot's going wild, but I don't need to win that lane. Look at this. Watch this. We put Blue Marvel here. This goes to 5. This is 20. Right? Play this. Look at this. What's he do? What's he do? He can Sunspot. He Infinauts was what he does. He plays 0. But like, he utilizes mana. So we end up beating him. The tie, and we beat him on the right. So we actually skipped 2 turns there and still won. Isn't that absolutely insane? Isn't that just insane that I just skipped 2 turns against Sunspot Infinaut and won? We've got Wong, we got stones. We're going to play the Time Stone here. It's a bit of a risk. We could save it. Subterranean, you got to be kidding me. If I play Nova first with the Time Stone, we can get the Wong out, right? Oh my god. Hate Subterranean so much, by the way. Okay, we can slide Wong out next turn. Oh, look at all these rocks. Isn't this fun? I think we just play these rocks and get them out of here. We'll need Killmonger to come out. Here's Death. It's Bucky Barnes. We're gonna get a free Death here. There's the Wong. We're going to Reality Stone on the Wong. Very fascinating gameplay here. Very fascinating gameplay with this Wong play. Plays Deathlock, destroys Bucky Barnes. Good play. It's a high quality play. I like it. This early Wong should make him a little nervous. We're going to double the Reality Stone. We cannot play the Power Stone yet because of our Killmonger, who we're going to have to play. Plays rocks out. This play is all Wong. Oh, we draw a card and we draw a card. Nice. Can move to that location. What do we even do? I think we actually Yondu. We double Yondu. We double draw Soulstone. We drop this rock. Oh my gosh. At this point, we just play this Power Stone. He has to Killmonger to save me, and then I can Death into Taskmaster. I knew it. Okay, good. That actually helps us out a lot. That's not good. Okay. There's 2 cards. We have to go Death. We have to go Taskmaster here. And we have to put the Mind Stone here. I think we have to assume that we have to compete with this location. Because if he just goes on 1 and we trade, we still lose. I think we have to play it this way. He plays Hulk. Not what I expected. We win by 1. We copy with the Taskmaster. And guys, we just cleanly won this game. I think we're just gonna reality stone this. Okay, let's go. We're trying a very interesting strategy here. Again, we're fully into experimenting with Thanos. So that's what we're doing here. Cloak is interesting, but not quite yet. Cloak activates Spooderman. We'll do this. Soulstone. I think we just move with the Kraven. It's after turn 5. No, we gotta do this now. Yeah, that worked out for me. Well, I think we just tempo out the Spooderman here. Things getting interesting. That storm was not expecting it. So we just tempo out Spooderman. Oh my god, he's gonna beat us by 1. No. Never mind, no he doesn't. This is ridiculous. We pull him, play hit. We can move him out. No Khazar here either. Plays Vision. What a gamer. Was not expecting Vision. Gotta be honest with you. Killmonger obviously is just detrimental to me. If he snaps, we gotta leave. I think we give this location and we do this. I think we do this. We move this out. And I think we go Power Stone Blue Marvel. I think we play the head games here. I think we go for the head games and we try and do this. I don't think you can predict this play. Look at that. Look at Kraven Rush. Oh my gosh. It's almost like I know what I'm doing, folks. It's almost like I know what I'm doing. He plays Carnage. Boys. It's a big hit. We have too much value there anyway. We're going to win this game. It was a good attempt. It was a good attempt. We just cleanly won that game. And I like the Enchantress play on him, honestly. The Enchantress play was really good. But we still just put up a lot of value here. And don't forget, this Power Stone's a 1-3. It's a 1-3. It's pretty impressive. We got to get rid of this X-Mansion ASAP. We got the Reality Stone. We're going to be using this damn Reality Stone. Oh my god. Disaster. Complete disaster, folks. There's nothing we can do. There is nothing we can do here. 2 separate locations that completely spank us. I mean, the way we fix this, actually, to be honest with you, is we do this, and we basically prevent X-Mansion from even proccing, is what we do. That's how we prevent it from happening. So yeah, we pull Nick Cage here, which is perfect. We trade this. We do this. We do this. This is correct. Plays Mr. Sister. Electra comes out. Big shot there. This guy's playing Cerebro for sure. Oh my, Monster Metropolis. So we actually have to make sure he stays above us. We block the X-Mansion up. Oh my god. We are so friggin' cursed, but no we're not, because we've got Nicolas Cage. We've got Nicolas Cage. And Nicolas Cage makes all things right. You guys thought this game was over. Hell no. Nicolas Cage is gonna make this game right. Yeah, they've got a Patriot list here. I said Cerebro before. It's definitely Patriot. I don't know why I said Cerebro. I'm playing Cerebro. Cerebro 1. The hottest of the meta. So we clapped this guy so easy there. Easy dubs. Spooderwoman's gonna prevent us from losing Moss Metropolis. We might actually win this game, fools. Believe it or not, we might actually clap this kid. Nicolas Cage has to come out. Nick Cage comes out. I think Nick Cage comes here. Yeah, we don't need Nick Cage there, do we? Nick Cage, Psylocke, the Wasp. And then we Cerebro and we just clap this fool or what? I snap. We're snapping. With Nick Cage, these guys are all going to reset. Literally a national treasure right here. Could beat up John Travolta any day of the week. Sarah comes out. He's going to try and miracle this hand. Resets everybody. Psylocke comes out for the additional mana as well. Wasp hits on the board. Come on, pull Mystique. Guys, this game is so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy to get to infinite. All you got to do is you got to top deck your win condition and still possibly lose. But he snapped. We're going to 8 cubes. We're going to 8 cubes. And if you think I'm going to run away, you're out of your damn mind. There's absolutely no way that I run away. I play Cerebro. I play Mystique. I hit the horn. I hit and turn. I throw the confetti. Let's go! Patriot comes out. Blue Marvel, it's actually a pretty big list there. Cerebro hits hard. Mystique hits hard. Let's go! That, my friends, is how you win games of Marvel Snap.